What's up and welcome to FPL Today. I'm your host JNO. Welcome to the channel and welcome to another What We Learned, where we look back at Game Week 23 and see what we can learn for Game Week 24. But before we get into this video, if you want to support the channel in any way, you can join those are Patreons or sponsors of the channel. The links are down in the description down below. You can support the channel from $1 a month and all money will go to help making more content for you guys. So let's get straight into the episode, and what an episode we have. I was going to bring this to you Sunday night, but I needed some more time to make sure I squeezed this game in, and it was of course the Liverpool versus Manchester City game. The game ended up with 7 goals scored, and Manchester City's run, if you didn't know, spoiler alert, is over as an unbeaten team this season, as Liverpool did come out of this game 4-3 winners. Life after Coutinho at Liverpool, as two of the best scoring teams in the Premier League came head to head. The good thing about Coutinho moving his rotation may be less of an issue now for some of the star players at Liverpool, and players like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, as you'll see in this episode, could come to the forefront now Coutinho has moved on. But of course the transfer window isn't over, so Liverpool could still strengthen, as could Manchester City. And this game started with Manchester City having an early penalty shout as Kevin De Bruyne played the ball into Raheem Sterling, who couldn't get it under controls by the look of it and was looking for the penalty. But Liverpool responded very quickly, with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain staking a place for first team football at Liverpool as he picked it up in the Man City half, drove forward and found a beautiful low driven right footed shot into the far corner. And to be fair, all of Liverpool's goals were pretty damn impressive. Man City of course went looking for the equaliser, wanting to keep their unbeaten streak going, and Aguero came close before Sane had a long ball played to him on the left. He cut inside Joe Gomez and drove the ball in at Karius's near post to make it 1-1. Man City then also started the second half off brightly with some counter-attacking football, even hitting the crossbar from a corner. However, it was Liverpool who would get the next goal as a driving run from Chamberlain and a through ball from him to Firmino saw Firmino with an audacious chip over his fellow countryman that went in off the post. Then of course he had to celebrate by taking his top off, which would have cost us points because he picked up a yellow card, at least those FPL managers that had him. So I really wish players wouldn't do that. It's one of my pet peeves when I see a player of mine score and then they celebrate like that. But then Liverpool went into a period of ascendancy as Mane hit the post before driving a left-footed shot into the top corner for Liverpool's third. And then with Ederson playing the sweeper keeper role, he came out for a clearance, but it wasn't cleared far enough. It fell to Salah. One touch, he struck it and managed to beat Ederson, who was completely in no man's land and stranded as he watched the ball go into the back of his net. This is 4-1, however Man City would not just roll over and die as Aguero and Gundogan linked up before Bernardo Silva put the ball home, and then a dink into the middle from Aguero. Gundogan was there again to chest it and poke it home to end the game at 4-3. However, Liverpool have gone out and played positive football against Manchester City and shown that it is possible to beat them. A lot of teams sit back, a lot of teams don't press. Liverpool pressed them for 90 minutes and came out of this with the 3 points, which is the most important thing of course. If we look at the players that stood out, there are some cheap options standing out in this game. Is if these two get some decent game time, Chamberlain and Gundogan could be great options for the second half of the season. Chamberlain at 5.3 million got 12 points from 1 goal and 1 assist, and getting 2 bonus points in the bag as well, with a minute per chance at 45 minutes and a minute per chance created at 30 minutes, which is very good underlying stats for a £5.3 million midfielder. Then we got Gundogan at £5.3 million as well, 13 points from 1 goal and 1 assist, 3 bonus points, minute per chance at 30 minutes, which is good, but he's not that much of a creative player for other players, as his minute per chance created was at 90 minutes, meaning he only got 1 in the game. And then of course Salah, back in from injury, having not dropped in price at 10.1 million, he managed to get 11 points from 1 goal and 1 assist and 1 bonus point, with a minute per chance at 14.7 and a minute per chance created at 44. And the positive signs are Liverpool are still creating chances against one of the best teams in the league without Philippe Coutinho. The next game we're going to look at is Spurs versus Everton, and there were only 4 goals in this game, so a bit boring compared to the Liverpool versus Manchester City game. If Son scored in this game, however, he'd tied Jermaine Defoe's record for Spurs of scoring in consecutive home games, which a record currently is 5. And that is exactly what he did in this game, and if he does it in the next game, he will hold the record for Spurs scoring at home, although it is at Wembley and not White Hart Lane, but never mind. Rooney and Everton thought they'd taken the lead early as a header towards goal from the new signing Cenk Toussaint was put home by Rooney, who was in an offside position, and that was literally the only time they threatened Spurs' goal, because then Spurs just went on an absolute rampage. Everton were made to pay for this missed opportunity as Aurier was left in way too much space. He was found with a long ball that switched the play, and Aurier plays it in for Son for an easy finish. The second came in the second half with Son turning Kenny inside and out before running at the Everton defence, and a shot cross was turned in by Harry Kane to make it 2. Son was running the show as he slid Dele Alli through, but Dele Alli couldn't quite squeeze it in at the near post. Then Harry Kane then set up Son with a beautiful crossfield ball. Son hit the woodwork from his shot from just outside the box. Then Eric Dyer drilled a low ball into the box as Harry Kane gets in behind, and a clumsy finish, but it still beat Pickford to make it 3. And to finish off the game, Aurier, Son, Ali, Eriksen all linked up for Eriksen to smash home a 4th, with the Everton defence looking in absolute shambles, and especially that last goal. Spurs are definitely looking like they have plenty of attacking options at the moment. However, their fixture list is going to take a turn for the worse after the next game week, so maybe hold off on bringing any in, but I wouldn't necessarily transfer any out. Players that stood out, all Spurs players, we had Son, Kane and Aurier. Son at 8.1 million was someone unfortunately I transferred out, but I did transfer him out for Jesse Lingard, who I've got my fingers crossed for tonight. Son got 13 points from 1 goal and 1 assist and 2 bonus points. He had a chance every 12.9 minutes and created a chance every 45 minutes. He's definitely looking like a very attacking and assertive player in that Spurs side. We then have Kane at 12.9 million. We all know about Kane, 13 points from 2 goals, 3 bonus points, a chance every 15 minutes, and he only created 1 chance in the game. And then Aurier at 5.9 million. I wouldn't go near him purely because of the rotation at right and left back at Spurs. However, 9 points from 1 assist, and he also created a chance every 90 minutes and had a chance every 45. For me, Spurs could be a vital part of the season, however, after they get past this tough run of fixtures, because if they continue to play the way they're playing, they could score 4 or maybe slightly less quite regularly. Then I wasn't sure how often I'd get to do this in this season, but I'm actually getting to talk about a West Ham game, as West Ham went and beat Huddersfield 4-1, and there were 2 star men in this one, Arnautovic and Lanzini, both budget options for your team. Marko Arnautovic leading the line in this game, with Lanzini sitting just behind. This is hopefully what we'll see moving forward, because I definitely like the way this played. Huddersfield actually started off brightly, but a Huddersfield defender didn't really want the pass from Lascelles and was dispossessed by Mark Noble, who scored the first for West Ham. Huddersfield would equalise though with Lolly, who was a defender who was dispossessed for Mark Noble's goal. He made amends by cutting inside from the right and finishing with his left into the far corner. The teams went in at half-time equal, and I don't know what David Moyes said to West Ham, but West Ham came out looking for blood in the second half. As 10 seconds into the second half, Arnautovic wins a knockdown from Chiarte and flicks it over Smith before driving it in low at the near post. Chiarte came close when the ball was loose in the box after a Cresswell cross, not long after West Ham's second. Then Arnautovic then came provider as a step over made him some space before he played a through ball into the path of Lanzini, who scored into the far bottom corner. And to finish it off, a powerful run by that man Arnautovic again, got the ball into the box, and as he was brought down, Lanzini took over and finished into the top of the goal. A side note from the FPL family and Ian Wright in Match of the Day mentioned that Arnautovic didn't look happy when Lanzini was scoring the goals. Definitely looking like a selfish player, but as long as he keeps scoring, that is of a positive to us FPL managers. So Lanzini and Arnautovic at 6.8 and 6.9 million each would have been a great player to have for this game week if you loaded up on West Ham players and hadn't quite got them out. I hope you didn't take out one of these two, as Lanzini got 14 points from 2 goals and 2 bonus points. He got a chance every 21.3 minutes, and Arnautovic at 6.9 million, 16 points, 1 goal and 2 assists, 3 bonus points. He had a chance every 83 minutes and created a chance every 21. So both looking like good options, as West Ham still have a few good fixtures before their fixture list takes a turn for the worst. And then the final game we're going to look at is West Brom versus Brighton. West Brom, Brighton, only 2 goals in this one. However, the 2 goal scorers were defenders, which meant they got some big points in this game. And if you did still have a West Brom defender, you would have been laughing for this week. However, I think most people have transferred them out. The question now is, are West Brom's defence back now with a change of manager? It took West Brom 4 minutes to score from a cross, which was knocked to the back post by Jay Rodriguez, and a beautiful and determined header by Johnny Evans, who could be leaving the club, gave West Brom the lead. Whilst Brighton looked to get back into the game, Craig Dawson burst through into the Brighton box, but his touch was heavy and the Brighton keeper claimed it. In the second half, Dawson almost set up a goal as well for Jay Rodriguez, and it was only a matter of time before Dawson got some points, because then Chris Brunt with a corner, who also looked good in this game, found the head of Craig Dawson, who had been threatening all game, as he powered down a header into the floor which beat the Brighton goalkeeper. Now this was a great performance from these 2 defenders, and if they can keep up those kind of goal scoring opportunities, they could be great picks for this season. Dawson's now only 4.8 million, who looks more likely to be staying at West Brom. Evans at 4.9. Dawson with 14 points on 1 goal and a clean sheet, 2 bonus points. He actually had a chance every 20.3 minutes, which is pretty impressive. Evans, on the other hand, 15 points from 1 goal and a clean sheet, 3 bonus points. He only had a chance and created a chance in every 84 minutes. So, not great underlying stats from Johnny Evans, but Dawson looks like he could be a potential option for us moving forward. And then the other performers we're going to look at, we are looking at James Ward-Prowse and Callum Wilson. Both under 6 million, both managing to get double figure hauls in this game week. Ward-Prowse seemed to be in the right place at the right time for both of his goals for Southampton, and Shane Long also looked dangerous in the Southampton game with his pace and determination, but it's still going to take a lot to convince me that I need Southampton players in my side. But with 15 points from 2 goals and 3 bonus points, with a minute per chance at 29.7, those stats are pretty impressive, even if it was only for 1 game. And then Callum Wilson at 5.7 million. Arsenal actually had the lead in this game 1-0, and then Bournemouth getting revenge for last year when they lost 4-3 after a comeback from Arsenal, managed to win this one 2-1. First of all, Callum Wilson grabbing the equaliser from a Ryan Fraser cross, and then Callum Wilson setting up Jordan Ive for the second, meaning Callum Wilson will re-enter the debate about the cheap third striker. 12 points from 1 goal and 1 assist, 3 bonus points. He only actually had a chance and created a chance every 89 minutes, so not great underlying stats there, but he got the points. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of FPL Today, What We Learned. Thank you guys so much for the support recently, it means the world to me. If you want to support in any other way, there's various links in the description down below, like the Patreon, which I've already mentioned. And as for the live schedule, we're probably looking at Tuesday night for me to go live, and then I may try and squeeze it in Wednesday night as well, but not 100% sure if that's going to happen. But Tuesday night is a definite. We shall see about the rest of the week. And all that is left to say, I've been JNO, you've been the Flock, and remember, it's all about the game. And players like as a driving run from Chamberlain and Keita came close when the ball was loose in the box from a Cresswell cross. Whilst Brighton looked that I need Southampton players in my side. But with 15 points, meaning Callum Wilson will